From the depths of hell, Kaiser shall arise, a stalwart fiery beast of lava, despair and pure badassery. They should have totally kept the Japanese name Kaiser in English, because it sounds so much cooler. I, of course, refer to the fire element brute Blazamut, who, according to the Paltopia, was born during a volcanic eruption. See? Pure badass from birth, and a top tier late game combat and base pal. Its name is theorised to be a combination of the words blaze and Bahamut, which doesn't make much sense if you go off the fact that Bahamut originates from Arabic and Islamic mythology of a gigantic fish deity, but it does make sense in the context of Dungeons and Dragons and Final Fantasy games where Bahamut is a dragon god. True to form, Blazamut visually resembles a draconic lava monster. This naming of a fire-type pal leads me to believe that introducing Blazamut's fire dragon dual-type variant, Blazamut Ryu, was always Pocket Pair's intention. More on this variant later. Being fire-type makes Blazamut strong against ice and grass-type pals, making it an ideal choice for taking down the Faebreak Tower boss Bjorn and Bastigor, who represent a major endgame challenge. Blazamut's only weakness is water, taking 1.5 times damage, so it's a good idea to take a strong water pal with you when you confront the field Alpha Blazamut located inside the Scorching Mineshaft on Mount Obsidian. Normal Blazamuts drop flame organs and coal when defeated or captured, while Alpha Blazamuts will also drop Ancient Civilization parts and Precious Claw with 100% certainty. And there is also a very small percentage chance they will drop an Assault Rifle Schematic 4. Blazamuts can also be found roaming around on its haunches at the number 3 Wildlife Sanctuary, but you will not encounter wild Blazamuts elsewhere. The only other ways to gain your very own Blazamut is through breeding or by hatching huge scorching eggs you find in the world. Your chances of getting a Blazamut from a huge scorching egg are actually quite high, since it's only one of 4 possible pals that can be gained from this egg type. You will either end up with a Suzaku, Blazehowl Noct, Phalaris, or a Blazamut. Blazamut was featured as number 70 in Pocket Pair's X and YouTube channel's PAL deck, but it's featured as number 96 in the Paltopia within the game. Its Paltopia also states that a strange group even claims that this continent is laid upon the back of a giant Blazamut. Bit of a stretch, but let's just leave the Brothers of the Eternal Pyre with their crazy fiery delusions. In terms of physical appearance, Blazamut is a large bipedal beast that rests its weight on its lava rock enshrouded forearms. This behemoth of a pal sports an impressive brownish grey mane with ashen black tips that extends down its chest, and its style is replicated on the end of its long tail. Its body and face is primarily red coloured, but it has a cream coloured jaw and tail underside. Blazamut has a set of curved horns that are made from the same lava rock that covers its forearms, but these have yellow tips. Its feet are large with 3 toes that have claws on each. It also has a small yellow horn as a nose, which is the same colour as its eyes. Blazamut has a menacing look on its face and a slight grin that adds to its intimidating demeanour. Be under no illusion, this pal is hostile. Unlike a lot of pals you will find on the Palpagus Islands that run away and only attack when provoked, Blazamut will attack completely unprovoked. Upon spotting the player, it will slam its fists on the ground and begin attacking. Blazamut can be mounted, providing you have unlocked its tier 40 saddle in the tech tree, but I would not use it as a primary mount solely due to its slower speed. This is a good combat mount though, and its partner skill Magma Kaiser also enhances the player's fire attacks when mounted. Blazamut's saddle can be crafted using 30 leather, 40 Paldium fragments, 20 ingots and 30 refined ingots, all fairly basic mid-game materials. Condensing at the Pal Essence condenser provides a percentage boost to fire attack damage that increases with each star rank gained. No condensing provides a base 50% boost, while max condensing provides a 100% boost. When it comes to working at your base, Blazamut is actually a great pal to have assigned to a mining base. It has a level 4 work suitability in mining and level 3 kindling, meaning it can mine ores and then operate furnaces to smelt the ores into ingots. The downside here is that Blazamuts have a big appetite, so food will be consumed a lot faster. but mining and kindling is hard work and requires a lot of food for energy. Blazamuts are definitely a good option for base work, and you can always give them applied technique books to bump up their kindling work suitability to 4, and then boost both up to level 5 through max condensing. Having a high work suitability in kindling also makes a team of 4 Blazamuts ideal pals to assign to the large scale stone furnace for speedy mass food production. Another plus is that although Blazamuts are quite big, they are not as big and always in the way as Jormuntide Ignis, and with a bumped up work suitability they are more than capable of performing kindling tasks as well as, or even better than, comparable kindling pals. When it comes to mining, Blazamut is excellent, particularly when mining tougher ores that take longer, such as pure quartz and hexalite. Personally, I like to have a huge base dedicated exclusively to mining and smelting, with Phalaris pals assigned to kindling tasks after boosting their work suitability to level 4, and having an army of Nocklums working on the many mining pits I have set up, rather than Blazamuts, because I tend to use Blazamut for combat. And let me tell you, that is some speedy mass ingot production. If you did want to have Blazamut as a base worker, then I would definitely consider passive skills that combat hunger, sanity and sleep, rather than focus on work speed, since Blazamut is already a very efficient, fast worker. Positive Thinker reduces the rate of sand depletion by 10%, and Workaholic makes sand drop 15% slower. Heart of the Immovable King is the best passive skill you can have to combat sanity drain, decreasing the rate by 20%. Only Dark pals are naturally nocturnal, so if you want Blazamut to never sleep and continue to work through the night, then the passive Nocturnal or Vampiric will do exactly that, with Vampiric also allowing it to absorb a portion of the damage dealt to restore health. Passive skills that reduce the rate of hunger include Dainty Eater, Diet Lover and Mastery of Fasting, which reduce hunger depletion by 10, 15 and 20% respectively. Alternatively, you could still give Blazamut Artisan or Remarkable Craftsmanship to boost work speeds even further and combat hunger and sanity depletion just through food and medicine offerings instead. A lot of dishes do combat sanity drain, and with Blazamut on your side, it's very easy to prep these meals in large quantities. Although Blazamuts are excellent smelters and rock smashers, it always feels like assigning them to a base is just watching them squander their potential. Where Blazamut truly shines is on the battlefield. A level 1 Blazamut generally comes with around 564 HP, 111 in attack, 600 defense and a work speed of 70. My strongest level 65 Blazamut has 10,524 HP, 1,740 in attack, 1,615 defense and a work speed of 235. This is with max condensing at the Palessence condenser, max souls offered at the Statue of Power, excellent IVs, a trust level of 3, and the Artisan, Flame Emperor, Pyromaniac and Veil of Darkness passives. If I wanted to make my Blazamut even stronger, then I could definitely max out its trust level for an additional stat boost using Kinship Peaches, and I could swap out the Veil of Darkness passive for something more suitable for Blazamut. When it comes to active skills, Blazamut's moveset is unsurprisingly fire-centric, save for 3 that are natural and ground-type attacks. At level 1, Blazamut comes with the normal type move Power Shot, where energy is charged into a focused blast with a power of 35 and a 4-second cooldown. This is followed by Ignis Blast at level 7, where Blazamut hurls a fireball at an enemy. Ignis Blast has an active skill cooldown of just 2 seconds and a power of 30, making it seemingly inferior to Power Shot, and it would be if it wasn't for Blazamut's exclusive passive skill Flame Emperor, which increases fire attack damage by 20%. Take that, Power Shot. Next up is the ground type move Stone Blast, gained at level 15, where Blazamut fires a barrage of stones, damaging enemies within range. This move has a cooldown of 10 seconds and a power of 55. At level 22 we gain our second fire type move in the form of Ignis Breath, which has a power of 70 and a 15-second cooldown. This active skill deals continuous damage by shooting flames at an enemy. At level 30, things start to get serious and we see a big jump up in active skill base power. The Fire-type active skill Ignis Rage is gained at level 30, where Blazamut will energise the ground, causing it to explode and damaging enemies within its large area of effect. This move has a power of 120 and a 40-second cooldown. At level 35, Blazamut gains its own exclusive skill called Brawn Impact, which allows it to raise and inflate its own arms and then slam them together to cause a massive explosion in the surrounding area. Next up, Blazamut learns Fireball at level 40, which has a cooldown of 55 seconds and a power of 150. This is Blazamut's penultimate move, and also its final Fire-type active skill, where it creates a giant flame ball to hurl at enemies, exploding on impact. Its final move, Rock Lance, is a ground-type move gained at level 50. Rock Lance allows Blazamut to summon a sharp rock spear under an enemy with a power of 150 and a 55-second cooldown. For a combat build Blazamut, I would advise focusing on passive skills that reduce active skill cooldown times, further increases fire damage, and reduces the impact of water attacks. Impatient reduces cooldown times by 15%, and Serenity reduces cooldown by 30%, and increases attack by 10%. Pyromaniac is a great passive for Blazamut too, since it increases fire attack damage by 10%, and you could also consider Waterproof passive to reduce incoming water damage by 10%. Blazamut's active skill roster is made all the more impressive alongside its Flame Emperor exclusive passive skill, making all fire attacks 20% more deadly than all other pals that share these skills. Apart from its variant, Blazamut Ryu, whose exclusive skill Eternal Flame increases fire attack damage by 30% alongside lightning damage. Which feels like a natural segue to talking about this excellent subspecies, who also happens to be a very hard raid boss added as part of the Sakurijima update. Blazamut Ryu is a Fire and Dragon dual type pal and is the only pal in the entire game to use the Ryu suffix. This pal does not spawn in any area on the map in the overworld, regardless of whether it's day or night. Blazamut Ryu can only be obtained by hatching the huge dragon egg that's rewarded to the player after defeating the Blazamut Ryu raid boss. Now you can't catch raid bosses themselves, you just have to defeat them and hatch the egg you receive as a reward, so don't waste your pal spheres. To challenge this raid boss, you must call it forth by offering a Blazamut slab to the summoning altar. These slabs can be crafted at a workbench using 4 Blazamut Ryu slab fragments, which can be found inside Sakurijima Island dungeons or through sending pals to specific expedition locations. Once summoned, you will need to sick your strongest overpowered team of water pals on Blazamut Ryu, who is initially weak to water. Once you bring its health down, this sod deploys a massive electric attack that paralyses, regains a large portion of health, and transforms into an electric type pal. This means it's time to stow away your water pals and deploy your best ground types for what remains of the battle. Providing you defeat it within the 10-minute time frame, you will be rewarded with your very own Blazamut Ryu, alongside lots of other goodies. The raid boss drops the following items with 100% certainty upon defeat: Ancient Civilization Core, Blazamut Ryu Ultra Slab for a harder raid boss challenge, Training Crystal, Ruby, Ancient Civilization Parts, Power Lotus. It also has a percentage chance of dropping pendants, lotuses and ivy fruits. This subspecies is the same creature design as Blazamut, except its body is purple instead of red, and its rocky lava crevices on its horns and forearms are pink and white instead of lava red. This variant also has a black nose where Blazamut has a yellow nose. Other than that, they are aesthetically the same. Its Paltopia entry isn't the same though. Instead of being born from a volcanic eruption like Blazamut, Blazamut Ryu emerged from the depths of the earth with relentless raging flames, showing no mercy and burning the entire island until nothing remained. Yeesh. Its typing makes it weak against water and ice pals, but strong against grass and dark pals. This incarnation of the Eternal Flame pal drops coal, medium pal souls and precious claws when not an alpha, and it has the same work suitabilities as Blazamut, except it naturally has level 4 work suitabilities in both kindling and mining. So this time, you won't need to use an applied technique book to bump up its kindling. Its partner skill Dragon Kaiser does the same as Blazamut's, except it enhances dragon attacks while mounted instead of fire attacks. And naturally, its saddle can be unlocked further down the tech tree, at tier 55, requiring 30 leather, 50 flame organs, 60 paldium and 30 plasteel to craft. My strongest Blazamut Ryu is fantastic, despite having fairly mid vitality and defense IVs. It has 11,831 HP, 2,215 attack, 1,934 defense, and a work speed of 156. This is with max condensing on souls, a trust level of 9, and the Eternal Flame, Burly Body, Philanthropist, and Ferocious passive skills. To make this Blazamut Ryu stronger, I could swap out the Philanthropist passive, now that he's done breeding, and definitely give it IV fruits to bump up its health and defense. In terms of active skills, Blazamut Ryu has a wide range of dragon and fire type attacks. At level 1 we have Dragon Burst, a quick discharge of draconic energy, which has a power of 55 and a 10-second cooldown. This is followed by 2 fire type attacks. The first is Ignis Breath at level 7, and then Flame Wall at level 15. At level 22 we return to dragon type moves. Comet Strike is gained, where Blazamut Ryu drops a meteorite straight down, creating a shockwave around the impact area. This move has a cooldown of 35 seconds and a power of 110. Next up is Beam Slicer, learnt at level 30, which enables the deployment of a dragon-powered beam that mows down the frontal area, and then causing the area touched by the beam to explode shortly after. Brawn Impact is gained at level 40 and is the same move as Blazamut's exclusive skill, with a power of 150 and a 38-second cooldown, which are also the same conditions as Blazamut. Finally, at level 50 we get Magma Crush, Blazamut Ryu's exclusive active skill. Magma Crush is a dragon type move that has a power of 160 and a 42-second cooldown. This move sees Blazamut Ryu jump into the air, gather strength, and then unleash a punch with full might. Blazamut Ryu's exclusive passive skill Eternal Flame is the best passive in the entire game for a Fire Pal combat build, making this pal a big player when it comes to breeding to get other pals to inherit this passive. Blazamut Ryu cannot be bred without already having a Blazamut Ryu as a parent, meaning there's no way around having to do the raid boss if you want this pal. Furthermore, back to Blazamut, all of the parent breeding combinations require at least one parent who is a raid boss, such as Blazamut Ryu, Bellanoir and Bellanoir Libero, and Hartalis. The easiest combo is by far Suzaku and Bellanoir. Bellanoir is the easiest raid boss, and although it is easier to just catch Blazamuts on the Wildlife Sanctuary, this is a pivotal combination to know if you want to pass down passives from other pals to Blazamut. Bellanoir and Suzaku can be parents for, and children of, a variety of pals. So basically it's easier to breed down a specific passive skill intended for Blazamut onto either a Suzaku or Bellanoir, and then get them to pass it on to a child Blazamut. And that's pretty much everything you need to know about Blazamut and its variant Blazamut Ryu. Both extremely badass pals for endgame combat. Be sure to tune in next week when I will be covering an Egyptian-themed humanoid jackal-like pal, aptly named Anubis, whose female counterpart Sekhmet was recently revealed for Palworld 1.0. So excited! Not long now. I've been Heather at Paltopia, and thank you very much for watching.